I'm back, and I've brought this lovely piece of 90s all-in wonderfulness with me, a Compaq CDS 524 of the Presario variety. It's actually a machine I've owned for about 10 years now, and unlike most systems I have on this channel, this one hasn't spent a single day in e-waste. But that doesn't mean it's not without its problems, of which it has many. So let's get into it and see if we can help it. Well, this is awkward. You don't normally get to see me actually do the voiceover, but this incredibly shiny CRT is making it impossible to hide. You can also see the piece of junk Ford Focus in the background in its natural state, jacked up in the garage undergoing transmission repairs. Ford. Not even once. And if I sound like a zombie, it's because I'm currently suffering from mystery plague. So if I sound a little funny, that's why. Anyways, let's get on with it. This machine has all the standard all-in wonderfulness. Got volume controls here, and a mute button, built-in speakers, and a real ka-chunk power switch. It actually disables mains voltage. This obviously predates ACPI and all that fancy stuff. And this machine does have a couple of issues that I know about. One being the floppy drive, which doesn't work at all. Makes floppy drive sounds, but gives errors. And the other is the monitor. Every once in a while, deflection will collapse, and it'll just be a quick little blink. And it's completely random and seems absolutely independent of environment. So that'd be fun to troubleshoot. I haven't worked on a CRT in a good long time. Hopefully it's not just some boring capacitor and we can actually do some fault finding. And the side of the machine has these three fingery controls for contrast, brightness, and horizontal position. These are just little potentiometers in there that you roll with your finger. I'm guessing it's got quite the fing longer in there for actually connecting to the potentiometer. That'd be interesting to see. Strange choice though. And here's the back of the machine. It has everything you could want on board, including a dial-up modem. Notably absent is any connector for an external display, so you are completely dependent on that monitor in there. Unless I guess you could put a video card in here. It does have 2 slots for doing so. And here's some labels zoomy. Got a manufacture date of February 1995, with risk of electrical shock, so don't open. Yeah, that's never kept me out. Challenge accepted. And here you can see our first sign of trouble. I know this machine has water damage. I'm not quite sure the extent though, but so far it hasn't affected functionality, unless it is indeed the cause of that monitor deflection problem. Not sure, I haven't been that deep in this machine before. I've only ever had the motherboard tray out. Speaking of which, let's get it apart. Now I've already lost those screws like 3 houses ago, so all we have to do is pull this thing out. And actually that corrosion is worse than I remembered. And honestly, I have no earthly clue how it got this bad. There's nothing above the board dripping down like some leaky capacitors or batteries or anything. This machine does not use a Varta battery. It uses one of those annoying permanently soldered coin cell batteries, which we'll have to deal with. Now, this thing was stored in some backcountry garage when I found it so many years ago. There's a good chance it encountered something nasty in there. Maybe battery acid or something, car battery leaked on it, or redneck drool. Yeah, there's that annoying permanent battery. I can't believe this is that much cheaper than just putting a battery socket in there. I'll never understand manufacturing. And there's the signature Compaq doodle on the motherboard. Seems like every Compaq motherboard has one. I don't even know what that's supposed to be. It's like some alien Cyclops thing with Spock-like ears. It probably has a name. If you know, let me know in the commenting area. And that Spock-Clops doodle is right next to the RAM. This machine has 4 megs on board, and it's got 4 additional megs on a stick here. You just never see onboard RAM anymore. Modern motherboard manufacturers said, nope, buy your own RAM, peasant. And there's a CPU under there. It can probably use a refresh with thermal grease. Let's go ahead and pull that heatsink off. Now, this was not my thermal grease job, so I'm kind of scared. Probably a bloody mess. But it looks fairly decent. That clip declipped. Break the surface tension. Yeah, it could be worse. But at least it has thermal grease. So many people didn't use thermal grease on this era of machines. They were all too happy to just let that 486 cook. So you got this little shim here. Let's get rid of that. If I can get under it. That's going to take a sharp thing. Here's a sharp thing. And now the secrets begin to be revealed. See, it's an AMD 486. Let's clean it up. And there it is. AMD 486DX2, 66 megahertz, and Microsoft Windows compatible. And we're just going to leave that chip in its socket for now. Probably not taking it out at all, because that is not a ZIF socket. That's more of a maximum insertion force socket. We'll be pulling that RAM stick out though. This board needs some surgery. Don't want that getting broken. Now let's work on liberating this board. Let's get this riser out of here. Never understood why Compaq used these hybrid Torx/slot screws. I always found that strange. That's the riser out. That thing's got tantalums. Well, it never exploded on me, but there's some more corrosion. That has got to be more than water damage. Water doesn't just permeate through the board like that. Seems like that's something a more acidic substance would do. Anyway, continuing. We'll see what kind of horrors await removing this rusty screw. Being very careful. Thing is tight. That feels very concerning. Oh no, here it comes. Thought it was going to break off. Does feel like it's taken the threads with it somehow. There we go. Seems liberated now. Oh yeah, that's definitely some kind of acid. The acid in combination with water damage. What has this thing been through? That's what the other side of the board looks like. Okay, that's not too bad. Yeah, there's the underside. So it had to be something dripping from above. Anyway, let's try to clean it up. First, let's get that chip out of there. Don't let me forget the orientation now. Now, just on the off chance that this is some kind of battery electrolyte, I'm going to use some dilute distilled vinegar. See if we get some fizz in action. No, it doesn't seem like it. It's just good old-fashioned dirty water corrosion. Just going to give this board a good hearty scrub. Get it all nice and thoroughly cleaned up. Alright, this thing's cleaned, dried, and ready to fly. And all of that corrosion did come off, ignoring the serial port of course. You may try something special with that. But all the corrosion on this area of the board seems to be gone. And luckily, I don't see any trace damage. And don't see any damage to any solder joints either. Though this whole area was covered with a very thick, flaky scuzz that took an exorbitant amount of scrubbing to get rid of. There's still some bits of it here and there. I don't think it's going to bother anything. I think this area of the board is mostly the modem anyway, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. Let's move on to the other things this board needs. Oh, and thanks for reminding me. Let's just deox that socket first. And now that this thing is clean, we can see what we got. The onboard sound is ESS audio drive with onboard OPL3. So somebody at Compaq was thinking of us. And there's a video chip provided by Cirrus Logic, and a pretty good performer for its day. It'll run Doom just fine. Okay, now time to do something about that battery. I already know it's dead, or at least pretty close to it. So I'm going to try to replace it with a CR2032 battery holder, assuming the stars align. First we have to desolder it. First I'll just do a quick eyeball mock-up and see if this socket will fit the board. And yeah, it looks like it should work. I'm just going to have to cock it over a little bit. No big deal. Let's get that desoldered. Hit it with some flux. And work the desoldering alloy in. It's like a must-have for these things because they have such big terminals that wick away heat. Give it a little shake so that it wicks on the other side of the board. Might have to give it just a very gentle prying action just to encourage it to start moving. There we go. And we're off.
Now let's clean up our mess. Okay, now I can really see if that thing fits. Oh yeah, that'll do just fine. You know, it looks a little funny. Got plenty of clearance for all the components. Let's go ahead and solder it down. A little flux will do. That's done. Now let's get rid of that flux, some IPA. Done and done. Now let me just make sure I got the polarity right. Good. Yeah, probably should have checked that before soldering it down, right? But I knew. Can't always be so sure though. And finally, let's give it a battery. Beautiful. Okay, now that just leaves this crusty serial port. Now these are fairly jelly bean parts, so I'm inclined to just replace it entirely. However, I don't have one on hand. And my dear fellows, I don't have a single board that I'm willing to sacrifice for it. So it will just have to remain crustified until such time I feel like dealing with it. Honestly, it'll still work. Enough of the inner metal is not rusted to where it creates a good ground. But I'm not going to be connecting any serial devices to this thing anytime soon, so that will wait. Now let's get that 486 thermally squared away. On ceramic chips, I do like to make sure that they're evenly coated. So there's nothing flat about any of this. That's honestly way overkill for a 486. Just smash that on. Work out any air bubbles. Get that clip on. And we're good. Okay, now let's get at these drives. And in order to do that on this system, got to pull this faceplate off. It's held on by these two screws down here. T15 Torx like everything else in this system. And then it should just pull right off. And I got to be real ginger careful because this system's kind of falling apart. Just got some plastic issues. Okay, there we go. We'll start with the floppy drive, since that's a patient. Fortunately, they give you plenty of length on these cables. And now the CD/hard drive caddy. So yeah, not the worst systems in the world to work on, just a little bit different. And the floppy drive is original, as witnessed by the Compaq stickers, made by Citizen. And I haven't had this drive apart before, so this is its first service by me, and maybe that's all it needs to get working. Kinda doubtful, but we'll see. Let's get it open. Looks like we have 3 itty bitty screws, and these are like extra tiny. And my go-to cheap Scamazon screwdriver doesn't even fit in there. Just wants to cam out, so we gotta go smaller. Let's see if the old cheap iPhone repair kit screwdriver does it. And yes, it does. Perfectly. We got one more, I think. See if that does it. Not that familiar with this model of floppy drive. It's pretty well built. This is some pretty thick sheet metal. How is that supposed to come off? Oh, I get it. It just interferes with absolutely everything. That was exhilarating. Okay, so it's kind of dirty. Don't see much grease. Perhaps it's just a matter of service. Let's clean it up. You know what? That door's got to come off. Very uncomfortable amount of bending, but there we go. Man, look at this. Found a hair wrapped around the spindle. If I can get it out of there without it breaking. Oop. I don't know if that's interfering with the disc rotation speed. And it broke. But it doesn't seem to be bindy at all. It's running just fine. It's probably not the issue, but I'm sure it's not helping. Anyway, moving on. Let's clean the heads. Actually pretty clean. Let's get the old grease off that lead screw. Let's see how well it moves. Seems decent. Let's just park that. And give it a little white lithium grease. And I got that door cleaned up real nice, so let's get that back on there. Without killing it. I like how it holds the spring captive. That is a most welcome feature. They like to go spring them a thing and into the dark abyss, never to be seen again. Alright, done with this for now. And there's our CD-ROM drive. It's a Panasonic drive, made in Japan, and Compaq original, manufactured April 1995. And this drive does work, or at least it worked the last time I used it. We'll have to retest, but it seems like a robust one. And here's the hard drive. Seagate Medalist, ST3491A, and 428 megabytes of Fury. And when I last tested it, this drive is kind of on its last legs. It was clicking and clacking and causing gameplay stutters. Yeah, apparently Doom freezes up when it gets disk access latency. So we'll see if it lets us down. Okay, now we're getting into uncharted territory, for me at least. I gotta get this back cover off. And that's gonna get tricky because I know some of these screw stands are broken, namely the two on the other side. Well, let's just go ahead and put this thing on its face. Got a towel down to keep from scratching the CRT. And could it really be just these 4 screws? Let's see. Ooh, satisfying screw crack. My favorite. Oh, I hate these non-magnetized screwdrivers. Let me get a magnet. Get over here. And another one. Getting lucky. Okay, yeah, the other 2 screws are just spinning the thing in and making horrible sounds, so there's definitely some internal plastic damage. But we should now be able to just pull this off, right? Aha! It's way easier than I thought. And yeah, this is what I mean. Those little screw stands are broken off from there. That's what these are. The screws thread into. Terrible design. I'm sure Compaq didn't expect this thing to last this long. Yeah, no thing longers on those pots. They're kind of just there. These funny little dome things over them. Heh. It's funny. I do like how those wires are just right up against the picture tube there. That's probably not great. Yeah, and look at that monstrosity of a capacitor there. What's that? 700 volts, 470 microfarads? That thing is enormous. Here's a AAA battery for scale. It's just... this thing is a unit. Okay, so that's the analog board and that's the power supply. And neither one of them are easy to inspect, just because of the way they're mounted. I'm sure the power supply is fine. I've used it a bunch before, but we really got to take a look at that analog board. Let's work on getting that out of there. And this is strange. This absolute unit of a neck board is positively affixed to the picture tube with these zip tie things. They're anchored onto one of the locking screws on the purity rings on the neck. I wonder if it's even possible for me to get these off without cutting them. Sure would like to leave them there because I can see this neck board loosening up over time just from moving the system around. But, you know, trying to reverse a zip tie, kind of like picking a lock. It's supposed to have like a release or something, but it does not. They said no user serviceable parts inside, and they meant it. Oh, gained a couple clicks. Gotta switch to something a little more pokey. Yeah, gaining ground. There we go. It's one side. Wow, that was significantly easier. It's the power of experience. Now, let's see if we can pull this thing off. Gotta be real careful with neck boards. Do it wrong, you'll destroy the picture tube forever. There we go. But it doesn't look like it's getting out of the way. There's so much attached to this thing. All right, that can at least be clipped. I can replace that zip tie. And this one too. But there is nothing I'm going to be able to do about this gigantically ridiculous ground strap. This thing is not service friendly. Yeah, I'm just going to have to let that sit there. But these cables are at least disconnectable. Nothing I can do about the connections to the flyback transformer though. Oh, and by the way, don't ever do this. These circuits usually contain some dangerous voltages even if they've been turned off and unplugged for a while. But I know this machine hasn't been powered on for over a year now, so we are good. Just didn't want you to get the impression that this was entirely safe. And this ground should pull off. And that gets it somewhat more out of the way. Actually, that cathode connection could probably come out, but I'm not worried about it. It's out of the way. And I can actually see the analog board a little bit. And now I can see the source of that water damage was definitely something dripping from above, as evidenced by this coagulated dust scuzz here. Yeah, I figured. And it's still not super easy to inspect that board. It's really crammed in there. But at least all the adjustment pots are readily accessible. These are all the finer controls, like horizontal and vertical size, hold, and all that good stuff. Let's see if I can get this board somewhat out. At least take a closer look. And it looks like we have 2 screws and a plastic standoff thing. Let's get those out. See, I'll probably have to use pliers to get that out. Yep. So squeeze these 2 tabs. There we go. Well, that doesn't get me very much further. And a lot of these connections aren't even removable. I'm going to remove the ones that are. And the ones that are removable are barely removable. That thing is tough. Let's see if I can release that tab. There we go. Now, what else is the holdup? Looks like the deflection yoke. We gained maybe an inch. Let's see what else is providing tension. That would be, well, I could probably get that one off. I snip that zip tie. And that neck is not coming disconnected. And the last one is the power supply connector, and it is not removable, at least not from this board. Looks like it's removable from the power supply board though. But I can get it far enough out to where I can at least get a better look at it. And unfortunately, all those components seem fine. They do use this black celastic that makes things look like they're burnt, but they're actually not.
So the source of that deflection collapse may not be this board, but I'll put a pin in that for now. We'll see if it's still a problem. It could be just that this thing didn't have enough runtime. Old capacitors can reform, you know? But since it's out, let's knock some of that dust off. And now I gotta find a way to clean that fan, ideally after removing it. Looks like it's held on by 4 of these pushy plastic clips. Let's see, they're probably gonna break. Nope, maybe not. I don't know how I'm gonna get to the other one though. It's like way down in there. And this airflow shield is in the way. Let's see if I can get them from this angle using ye olde chip lifter. That's working. Have we done it? Yes, we have. Oop, falling apart. Yeah, I probably should have disconnected it first, right? This thing is so awkward to work on. And it is out. I'm about 99.999% sure this is the first time this fan's ever been cleaned, and it shows. Alright, that's considerably cleaner, and this bearing seems perfectly fine. These NMB fans seem to be really decent quality. I don't recall it ever being noisy. In fact, I barely noticed there was a fan in this thing at all. But let's give it the test. Here comes 12 volts, right in the power hole. Oh yeah, that thing's almost dead silent. And that's laying down on the desk. I would deem it excellent. Okay, I gave everything a best effort cleaning. Got that fan and that duct back in there. And I got everything loosely back together. Just enough to run, because I'm pretty sure we're diving back into this. But it's time to move on to other parts of the system. There's some guts down in this section that I want to get to, namely that circuit board. And it appears this bottom plate's removable. See a bunch of T15 Torx screws. Now let's see. Is this as easy as it looks? Oh, missed one. Once again, yeah, I'd say not. Something in the front. Guessing it's where these speakers attach here. That's gonna be awkward. Let me try to scooch it this way. Get at those. Okay, here we go. Think. Ish. Okay, now I guess the source of tension is that giant cable there, presumably for power. No, that wasn't the only one. What else? Seems like all of these cables are equally tense. Okay, mostly just that one. Guessing these are the two Molex connectors. That is a strange looking thing. Good luck finding replacements for those. Now, monitor. And I guess it's high time I disconnected this IDE and floppy cable. Finally, we are out. And good thing I went to the trouble. Got a little bit of corrosion on that connector. Doesn't look too terrible, but we need to clean it up nonetheless. Let's get that board off of there. Yep, a little bit sketchy in there. I wonder if that's why my floppy drive doesn't work. This board seems mostly passive. The only IC on here is this audio amplifier chip. Yeah, the rest are just basically straight through connectors with some filtering, resisting, and all that stuff. Maybe that floppy drive's fine. And look at this fluxy mess that they left back here. It's just everywhere. You'd think they would clean that off. Well, I guess it's fine. It lived this long. Let's just get rid of some of this dust. Now we'll scrub-a-dub-dub with the vinegar mix. Sometimes this is enough to take the corrosion out. If not, let's go with some more extreme measures. I'm way more worried about what's actually inside the connector. Okay, that's as clean as that's getting. Yeah, corrosion's not coming off those pins, but it doesn't matter. What does matter is it came off the gold-plated fingers just fine. If the camera would focus. There we go. Yeah, clean as can be. Now we're just going to give everything a deoxit workout. Go a little bit overboard. Never hurt anybody. Let's give that. And I'll hit the other side too, why not? You know, it looks like it got plenty. Actually, yeah. That's the magic of going overboard. Or in this case, underboard. I'll see myself out. Okay, now I gotta do pretty much the same thing for the riser, because it has the same green death situation going on, except worse. Let's hope the vinegar does its vinegary magic once again. Yeah, it is. Taking it right off. Can't beat gold. Better hit that edge connector too. Yeah, that gold did its job. No wonder scrappers love these. Alright, all clean now. And we're going to do the same deoxit thing. Because a clean slot is a happy slot. Now onto the motherboard tray. I want to get rid of this rust spot. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just needs to be significantly less annoying to me. So I figure a wire wheel will do it. Okay, that'll have to do. That wire brush is unwieldy and annoying. It's really hard to get in that corner there, because she's got a lot of miles on her. It's like rounded over. Can't be time for a new one. Did notice that the motherboard tray has all this happy info on it. Yeah, I never looked at the bottom before. I didn't even know that was there. You got jumper settings and unreasonable warnings. I mean, how hot can a hard drive really get? Yeah, we might as well hit the ass plate too. Yep, good enough. You know, as I'm reassembling this thing, I'm struck by how much structural integrity that plastic adds. Look how weeble wobbly the monitor is with the back cover removed. And that's because the whole thing is supported only by these two little plates of sheet metal, one on either side, and there's nothing else. I guess Compaq went for the bare minimum, but you know, I feel like they could have sprung for one or two stiffener brackets here, but I'm no cost optimization engineer. Okay, now let's move on to testing. Yeah, it's been a few years since I've turned this thing on. We could get a surprise, but let's hope not. And obviously video capture is out of the question, so hopefully we don't get too much CRT flicker, but let's see. Alright, those are good sounds. Yep, we're booting happily. Looks like the brightness is up way too high. A lot of raster. There we go. Oh yeah, none of my options are set. On account of that dead CMOS battery. Oh, and the hard drive's getting clicky. That hard drive's on its way out. Alright, let's save these changes since we're That's perfectly fine. And I've never done a proper deep dive into this thing. Okay, I guess I better set that date and time. Oh, what? All right, that's the setup program. Got us all DOSy. Sure. Guess it's in computer setup? Look at that, we even get a mouse cursor in here. All right. This thing's gonna be like, what horrible time period have you brought me to? Let's see, how is this supposed to work? Hard drive sounding sick. Let's see, do you like that? How much information are you retrieving? Okay. Okay, sure, I don't care. All right, everything else looks legit. So I guess we're done here. Save those changes. Guess now I better zoom in on the screen. Still with the double beeps, eh? But no complaints. All right, the hard drive is hard driving. And yeah, I disabled automatic Windows, but this thing does have Windows 3.1 on it with the original Compaq image. And tab works. For those that remember it. So it's like an alternate GUI thing for Windows 3.1. Alright, that seems like that's the best I can do about the flicker with the shutter speed adjustment that this camera app gives me. I do still shoot these videos on a little old iPhone. No fancy cameras here. Hopefully it's not completely intolerable. Let's dig into TabWorks. Let's see, Compaq Welcome Center. Ooh, let's learn about your computer. Okay, this is riveting content. I guess ABC. Something seems broken here. I feel like we're supposed to have text. Oh, here it comes. Maybe? No, I guess not. Maybe that hard drive's dying. I guess this teaches you how to use basic GUI. Remember, this was a time period where this stuff didn't come naturally to people. This was still all new. Alright. Okay, that's not a real exit button. How do I get out of here? I guess exit? Oh, that sent me all the way out. I reload that, see if we'll get text. See, what's the great thinker thinking about? He's thinking, sure wish I had some text. Man, look at that graphical detail. Man, such detail. Well, there's some text. Not much. TV option. This thing had a TV output. That would sure have been nice to learn about. At some point they came with a capture card. Okay. It's clearly broken. I guess nobody ever registered it either. I can receive free information and special offers from Compaq. I could also win a free Compaq PC. Man, who wouldn't go for that? Come on. Wait, you gotta call them? Oh no, it would just dial up too. I guess Compaq had a little thing accessible through dial-up. Let's say, for instance, I wanted to proceed. Let's see what it does. This is actually gonna try to make this call. Yeah, it sure is. Huh. I don't have anything near a real phone line. 3-year limited warranty, wow. That's incredible. Yeah, this is the point where we fail. It's checking the phone line. Huh, okay. Didn't fail, but it told me all about the fax modem. So I guess it did survive the corrosion, although it couldn't identify chip type model or revision. Okay, let's see enough of this. It's like, did you plug in the phone line, you dummy? Okay, let's get out of here. Yes, I want to cancel and miss out on all these great benefits. So sad. What's in the control center? Computer checkup, eh? How could I resist that? Let's do it. See what it thinks about that clicky hard drive. Oh, what's going into something DOS-based. She's rebooting. Okay, what was the point in that? Was it expecting to go back into Windows? Okay, well, I guess no diagnostics for us. Or maybe that was the diagnostic. Your computer booted successfully. And that's all you need. What else is in that control center? Computer setup. Huh, so it just gives you hardware specs. Press the button to configure the devices described below it. Okay. Oh, so you can really hit the BIOS settings through here? Let's see, storage. I guess maybe. Let's see, what's advanced? Woohoo. That's too advanced for me. Let's get out of here. Let's see what security management gives us. Oh, you can put a power on password in, eh? Let's not do that. What's this guy down here's deal? Compaq operator. Who are you? What would you like to do? Man, he looks professional. Place a call or send a fax. What are my options? Sounds like that hard drive's running out of options. Huh, it can function as an answering machine. That's interesting. Takes voice messages. Huh, that's cool. Yeah, I should probably back up this image while I still can. Hard drive's on its last legs. Let's see, what is Wheel of Fortune? I remember, I didn't put that on here. What is that? Oh, there's an error. Aw, doesn't exist. Let's see what's in that. IBM and Crayola? What? Print Factory. Some graphics design. Ah, needs a CD. Yeah, just about everything of reasonable size needed a CD back then. Hard drives were not very big. What's this? Microsoft Tools? That's cool. Microsoft Multimedia. What's up with that? Oh, Microsoft Encarta 95, that definitely needs a CD or configuration file. What's all this here? Anger. Yep, no CD, no Encarta for us. Tab Works Directory. We already know what that looks like. Books that work. What is this? You can get a free Toyota CD-ROM? Get in here. Ugh. Where's all my configuration files? Does any of this work? More like books that don't work. Can we even do the modem registration? Nope. Oh, this thing is like a shell of its former self. Yeah, none of these work. Oh well. Sierra, that's a game company. Let's see what's coming soon. Configuration file errors, that's what's coming. What's wrong with this thing? Okay, let's get some knowledge. Something tells me that's going to be quite impossible. Oh, nah, doesn't work. I got too excited. Thought something was gonna happen. What about this? What? Man, why is all this stuff so broken? Microsoft Works? Surely that works. Maybe. Haha! Finally, something works. What in the devil? Somebody's poetry. What else is on here? Ooh, we got some tax documents. That's fun. Looks like somebody was making heavy use of this. Where are these stored? Weren't no documents directory back in these days. Oh, I lost it. No need poking around in other people's stuff anyway. Let's get out of here. Visio home, eh? Let's see the family tree. Okay, so this is just an example, I guess. And this is prior to Microsoft acquiring Visio? Looks like it. I don't see any, oh, well, no. I don't see any mention of Microsoft. This was pre-acquisition Visio. That's cool. see, Astound CS. What's so astounding about CSE? I don't know what that is. And this apparently doesn't either. Maybe that README works. Nothing works! No, let's not. I guess somebody excavated this hard drive, just freeing up space, deleting random stuff. Can't blame them. With only 427 megabytes to work with. What is Audio Applicatio? Audio Clip Library. That works. Huh.
This is urgent.
This is urgent.
This is urgent.
Is it now? What else is there?
This is a reminder.
A reminder of what? This is cool. I've never seen this audio recorder program before. This is not default. Huh. ESS technology. This came with the audio drive software.
Thanks for your help.
Well, you're very welcome. So then I wonder if this thing can record. Let's see. I don't have a microphone plugged in, obviously. Can you hear me? It doesn't look like it. Nope. No built-in microphones. Well, just gotta hear, don't save. Oh, that's interesting. What sounds we got? Kiss sound? Aw, how sweet. Frog sounds. Sounds like a frog to me. Cannon. That's intense. Oh, they got Caddy. Sounds like a cat trying to sound like a cat. I wonder what these effects are for. What is this even? Oh, should we risk the music? Uh-oh. Probably lost the hard drive for a second. Let's go on the quest. That's not music. That's a sample. What? Quick hits? Oh, that is 90s. Thought In Living Color was about to start. I gotta hear it just one more time. Love it. Start a. So relaxing. Like really relaxed right now. That sounds nothing like a comma. So what is this audio application? Why are these? These aren't audio applications. Let's see what the clock's all about. Okay, it's a clock, and it's very confused about the year. It's like, what? It's the year 125. What's the chime? Oh, holy jeez. Okay, I guess it plays on an interval? What kind of interval? Interesting. Stopwatch seems self-explanatory. Yep. Even gives a little click sound. I love it. Let's jump out here. See a calculator.
9.
What?
0, 0.
And it speaks.
Divided by 0.
Oh no! He did it. He divided by 0. I can't believe it speaks.
1, 2, 3, 6, 5, 4.
Let's do buffer overflow.
Times 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0.
Go into the exponential.
0, 0, 0,
Oh.
0, 0.
She's not happy now.
0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0.
Oh yeah, this is what happens when you divide by 0.
0, 0 equals 1.236.
Gave up. It's not going to try to save the exponent. Ha! Talking calculator, eh? What a time to be alive. Let's see. Media pilot. Guess that's that wave player. No, this is a different wave player. How many wave players does this thing need? Let's see, mini pilot. Huh, what is this, like a remote? What in the devil is this? Oh, we got MIDI player. Gotta check that out. Do we get sample music? Ooh, maybe. What's that? Too Fat Polka? Oh, it's not working. I guess it expects to output to an external MIDI device. It's not using any onboard stuff. Okay, that's the audio input. MIDI input, I mean. Huh. Guess we're not gonna get to hear that. Let's see, is there more to this? Oh well. CD sound system. I'm guessing that plays just the audio CD. Sure, there's apparently a disc in there. I have no earthly clue what I put in there. Let's see. Oh, ERI, that's Emergency Room Interactive. It's this weird old hospital game that me and my sister were obsessed with back in the day. Which I'm pretty sure is installed on here. I'm just going to leave that in there for now. Okay, so this clearly plays MIDI and CDs and whatnot. Nothing surprising here. Let's see if can this output to the onboard MIDI? Nope. Oh well. Wait, maybe it's just that track. Oh, I lost it. Come back. Or let's go in the MIDI player. Maybe there's something funny about that particular file. Nope. We got nothing. Alright. Go away. And that's where the operator lives. Alright, mouse/trackball. Hey, I have a trackball connected. Okay, that's exactly what I expect. Even detects the middle mouse button. It's like they knew. It's actually the same exact mouse that I have, this shape here. My little Logitech TrackMan that I use all the time. Still works absolutely beautifully. Alright, so that's self-explanatory. Let's see what different cursors they have. Oh, I thought you could change the actual... Oh, maybe you can. It did change. Ooh, give me cursor trails. Oh, no cursor trails! So mean. Okay, it's not as advanced as I thought it was. Let's go to here. Games A. Oh, it's the default Windows games. Disney Interactive. That definitely needs a CD. Yep, sure does. But I kind of really want to play that. Oh well. What's in startup? The operator. Oh yeah, he's living down there, hogging memory. Shoot them, dog. Sure. Surely that works, right? Yeah, I told you this came from a country garage. Shoot them dogs. Let's see, how do we get started? New game. Okay, I'm ready to shoot something. This is supposed to be easy. How do you do things? I'm shooting. I have no shots apparently. What do I do? There's not much shooting going on. Oh well. Let's get out of here. Let's shoot the prairie dog, I guess. New game. What the? Where are you? I don't see any. Aha! Why you no die? My aim sucks! There we go. Got him. Where's he at though? Think he got wise. Oh well. Kill one of them. I gotta hear that sound though.
Here, doggy, doggy.
What? Okay, the peripheral view is doing stuff, but oh, there he is. Oh, hard drive froze. Why doesn't it actually work? Oh well, let's get out of here. Expert Soft. Expert Software. Home Design 3D 3.0 does not work. Could have guessed that. What's in the index? Oh, it's just the list of all the tabs. Well, that's cool. Okay, let's see if I somehow manage to fix that floppy drive. Let's go in File Manager. Ooh, that sounds crunchy. Definitely didn't sound like that before. Uh-oh, that's not good. I do not want to format it now. Let's try again. Okay, I think that drive still doesn't work, unless that disk somehow went bad. Let's try another one. Of an unknown quality. Yeah, no good. Well, let's see what happens when it tries to format. Try it. No good. Guess the drive really does have problems. I'll take another stab at that later. See, this is really the deepest I've ever dove on this thing. When I first got it, I was just more interested in loading old DOS games on it. Because that was back when I was just starting to get back into retro computing. I just wanted to have something to run my games on. Let's see, where were those documents that looked original? Well, we're up to 1999 here. There's that scan disk log, but that's most likely from me. See how File Manager bugs out when it gets into the 21st century. See, there's another one. Yeah, so one or two of these could be the tell. So I better drop in the DOS mode and see what the actual timestamp is, because this isn't going to show me. Yeah, nah. File Manager's too buggy for that. So remember, it's LST02 or something. Yeah, we'll remember it. End by window session. So what was that? Star.wps? 2001, okay. 2001 is fairly late to using this machine. And apparently I accidentally modified that one file somehow. Let's get back up to Windows. I'm not seeing any signs of that deflection problem that I noticed years ago. Guess that wasn't a real issue. Guess I won't get to repair CRT in this video. Boo. Let's go back in the File Manager. Go through the rest of this. So Doom, I put this on here. And Legacy is that ERI program. Yeah, this game will not run at all on a modern machine, like in any DOSBox emulator or anything. And the only thing that stops it from running is the installer. The installer will not generate its configuration file in an emulated environment. I don't even remember which one. But that was the key, is to get the installation done and then just copy that config file, and it would run just fine on a modern machine. Let's actually try to run that. I'm curious if anybody else recognizes it. I'm not sure if it'll run in Windows. Uh-oh. Disk error. This might be Windows shenanigans. Let's give it a reboot and stay in DOS. Get that disk out of there. Hard power down. All right, that was legacy set ERI, right? ERI.bat. There it goes. Oh, this takes me back. If anybody actually recognizes this, please let me know. I'm gonna let the whole thing run. You're gonna have to skip it if you don't like it. Uh-oh, that wasn't supposed to happen. Was that too much advanced video for this machine? Huh, we're not coming back. Well, that's never happened before. Let's reboot. See, I probably broke something in that install. Let's just try one more time.
Insurance
There we go.
carrier? Oh, sorry, Doc. Today I feel like the patient. Sign in.
Oh yeah, here we go. Log in. And I believe that's my sister's doing there. So yeah, we'll just play as that. Actually no, let's go as a new doctor so you can see the silly intro. So you'll be Dr. Deathman. Entertainment purposes only, so you better not use this to actually diagnose yourself.
Sorry, Doctor, but this is the front line. Triage. And it's always this crazy.
This is no front line. I learned my trade on the real front line. In country. You know, Vietnam. I'm Frank Metzen, head trauma nurse. Welcome to the ward.
Please, Frank. Dr. DeVos will be here any minute. Let me warn you, he's a real stickler for protocol. After you select your patient, carefully read their chart on the Metamatic. Look at the CMEs for helpful medical information. And whatever you do, don't contradict Dr. Boss. Speak of the devil.
Let's do this quickly, Doctor. This is trial by fire, and you're going to have to jump in with both feet. I am Dr. D. Boss, PhD, Harvard, MD, Princeton Pre-Med, Johns Hopkins residency, honorary degrees from Cambridge and Columbia.
Oh, Dr. DeVos, the waiting room is filling up.
I realize that, nurse. First thing you have to do here is determine which patients are the most critical. Time is of the essence. You're responsible for all aspects of their care. Physical exam, ordering of lab tests, and treatment. If you're unfamiliar with any medical terms, use the glossary on your Metamatic. And be thorough, Doctor. Don't be like some of the other doctors around here who seem to think this is all just one big game.
That would be me. So you must be the latest victim. Welcome to the madness.
May I continue, please?
Absolutely, Doctor.
You should also familiarize yourself with the SOAP. And do your paperwork, Doctor. That way you'll avoid hassles with the insurance companies and with me. No, Doctor, you better get back to work.
They're all yours.
Apparently these are like real Hollywood actors. I forget exactly who.
Dr. Max, extension 456.
But those were actual videos, which is pretty impressive for a game from this era. But yeah, without getting too deeply into this, because I could probably play this for hours, this
I
is
have an
basically...
earache. This happened the last few times I've flown. I thought I'd better get it checked.
Yeah, basically you gotta pick them and try to diagnose them and then treat them and try not to kill them. Yeah, pretty much that. It's got some pretty funny moments.
I think my daughter has a bladder infection. She's been urinating all day and says it hurts when she makes pee-pee.
Let's see.
Starting in the auditorium. Dr. Boss, ER stat. Dr. Boss, ER stat.
Let's see, what's this guy here for?
Got an adult male who was hit in the eye with a bottle.
That sounds important.
Please call
You know what?
surgery.
We'll go with him. I guess it's a test of how well you're paying attention.
Visiting hours are over.
And yeah, I wasn't paying attention because I don't know any of this.
Patient's rooms at this time.
Let's go with that. And I forgot how to play this. Been a long time. You know what? We better just jump out of here. But please, let me know if anybody actually played this game. And did you end up becoming a doctor or doctor adjacent? Now let's get back to Windows. Back to File Manager. Don't remember what this is. I guess this is Quicken for that tax info. It's SL Slang Spanish.exe. Gotta check that out. No CD-ROM. Soft source. V-Shoot G, I'll probably that shooting game, yeah. DeadDog.wave. Is that what dead dogs sound like? I've never actually heard one. Okay, well I guess not much else to see in the OS. A lot of this stuff's been hollowed out. So I'll do scan disk to see if that hard drive's gotten any worse. Yes, do surf scan. It's a little noisy, but no bad sectors. At least not yet. Okay, I guess we're still good, despite the scary physical damage sounds and the annoying disk I/O pauses. Okay, now let's scrutinize this floppy drive. I've got a known good one jammed in there, temporarily, because I can't remember if I did this or not. But I can barely remember what I did yesterday, let alone 4 years ago, last time I messed with this thing. I assume I must have tried this at one point, but floppy drives were a lot more scarce for me back then. Not anymore. Anyway, we'll just see if this thing boots. Ooh, that sounds like booting to me. Yep, it's working. Which is actually, well, a good and a bad thing. It's bad that that floppy drive is no good, but it's good that it's not actually some internal fault in the machine. Alright, well, let's dig into that floppy drive then. Okay, let's see what it's actually doing while it's trying to work. Turn it on. See, that looks normal. Yeah, it didn't even try to boot. That's very strange. Usually you get some seeks after that little initialization thing that it does. We're gonna try that just one more time. Okay, I do see the indicator LED stuck on. So, yeah, I think this drive is profoundly hooped. I guess I need to try to find a similar enough replacement. Okay, I consulted the Horde, and yeah, I don't have any drives that'll work in this machine. And the only reason for that is because of this button and the very unique way that it attaches to the drive. It like slides down into this metal piece. Most of them just like stick on, but this one, I guess they want it to be more rigid or something. So the replacement's gonna have to be this exact model drive if I want to keep this thing looking original. Specifically, a Citizen LR102061. So I'm going to have to put that model floppy drive on my most wanted list. Yeah, that's the folly of molded faceplates. You end up married to the type of drive that they were designed around. And I haven't yet found the silver bullet for that, beyond just finding the exact make and model floppy drive. But there's a decent chance I'll come across one in my e-waste adventures. Okay, now it's time to do something about these broken screw stand things. These set inside the case here and here. So first I had to figure out the exact orientation it was in before it broke off. Which on this one's kind of obvious because it has those two little support stands there. And that looks like it. Now to temporarily hold this thing in place, I'm going to use some super glue. This is not the final bond. This is just to keep it in position while I mix up the epoxy. Just gonna let that take. And I did the same thing for the other one. Now, one thing I like to do is, I like to take a Dremel and cut some reliefs into the plastic. That way the epoxy has something to bite to. It also helps resist the twisty motion from the screw going in and out. At least I hope it does. So let's start grinding. Now we'll wrap it in a nice supportive layer of epoxy. Make sure it fills them grooves. And we'll let that cure. Okay, that's all cured up now. Seems solid. Let's take it for a test spin. Just make sure it doesn't snap right off. Alright, that's good. It's probably about all the torque that's going to see, so yeah, this will work. Okay, I replaced all the zip ties that we cut, but I still got to get this weird neck board thing retainer back on. See, I think it goes like this or something. Seems like it. I'm still on the fence if it's even necessary, but this is one big heavy neck board. I could see that coming loose, although I doubt this machine's going to be moving around a whole lot, because I don't intend to get rid of it. Okay, now we'll really see if that JB weld held. Let's give it full weight. Oh yeah. That's fine. That will survive. It's definitely stronger than I've ever seen it personally. Yeah, I do appreciate a good all-in-one, although from a collector standpoint they're kind of a mixed bag. On one hand, they're the complete package. You get the CRT monitor and the retro system all in one, which is great for saving space. But on the other hand, they can be crazy expensive. They're also highly unlikely to survive shipping, so you have to find them locally. And they tend to have proprietary motherboards, as this one does. So if anything goes wrong with that, you're kind of hooped. But if you can find one cheap, they're insanely great. Speaking of insanely great, what better way to describe the patrons and channel supporters? Especially during this 3-month-long hiatus I was forced to take. Yeah, I'm kind of a big deal at my company, and we're wrapping up some pretty massive projects, so that's where my attention's been. I haven't been able to get out here and do stuff like this nearly as much as I wanted to. And you could just forget about editing. That's the most time-consuming part of this. But who knows, maybe I'll make some videos on the work I do. Is anybody interested in content covering DevOps and cloud infrastructure? It's kind of as far from retro computing as you can get. Who knows, maybe I'll experiment with it. But that's all for this one. Thanks for sticking around, and thanks for watching.